Yeah, I started my now setting up for my Facebook Live.
Okay.
So it's loading here.
So I need to go to your Facebook and share from your side, isn't it?
Yes, yes. I try to I try to figure out, is it possible to share to the event at the same time? 有没？有吗？有吗？看到吗？我可以看到我的 Facebook 是有两个 view 这，有吗？有吗？Is it okay？ 有了。OK good。好，这样可以 share 哦。哦，你可以已经搞定了。OK。我看不到我自己。等一下啊。Okay, so I share to my personal profile at the event. How can I get the link? Yeah, I send to your WhatsApp.
You send my WhatsApp, eh?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Link.
So what should I do here? I go to WhatsApp there and share.
You copy the link and then maybe you can share. Click on the link and then you open the page, the post, and then you can share it out in Facebook to the event. I share to the event. Share
you
to
are at the
event.
event now. You share to event, see?
I try to share to event. Cannot. Only share to a group or friends timeline. How to share to event?
Okay, I can see you. So I share. I share to my story public.
So yeah. I just copy the link into the group, the page.
Yeah.
I can share the thing. Okay, and then application. Okay. The text. The caption. Okay. Yeah. No. Wait, 中间掉了那个 link。Copy link. Okay, hello. Okay. Okay, so 5 minutes remaining.
Okay.
So we can start. Try to get some audience.
All right.
Share it out. Share to my stories. Alright. Okay, so should we start? We have
Okay.
some audience here. You can see from the bottom, about 10 people at the moment. Alright. Okay. Alright. Okay, so good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon. Yes,
Okay,
James.
and
How are you?
fellow audience, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm James Chuah. All right, so from Yes Financial. All right, so we have to do disclaimer first, lah. All right, so what our discussion is solely our own opinion. All right, so it cannot be treated as any advice in all means, and it doesn't represent the standing of Yes Financial, all right, or any regulators or professional bodies, lah. All right. So this is our individual opinion only. Okay, so first of all, so we have our guest here, Mr. Anthony, okay, who is graduated from Standard Chartered Company, okay, as associate member, and graduate in Master MBA, okay, Master in Business Management, okay, as a IFP as well, and IFP in Conventional and Sharia. And Mr. Ang also is a MFPC council member, right? And he has more than 30 years working experience in insurance and asset management company. And he also is a entrepreneur. At the same time, is a coach, right? And trainer and examiner in financial planning sector. So this is a basic introduction of Mr. Ang, all right?
Okay, James, thanks for the brief introduction. I know James is a hardworking young man. I think he has 4 years working experience after his study in some film industry, filming industry, 4 years, and also get some involvement in property. And now he's pursuing his RFP. Yeah, soon he'll be a registered financial planner. So congratulations in advance, James. Hope you can excel well in financial planning sector. All right. So he also associate member of MFPC as well. So we are friends. James is in Penang and myself is in KL. So we are far apart, about nearly 400 kilometers away. So this is the new lifestyle now. We couldn't travel at this moment except for work, right? So for all this meeting and communication, I think from now onwards, we need to go through all these technology via Zoom and also Facebook communication. And today we are glad that we can host this very first so-called Zoom discussion, and then going live and share with our fellow friends and colleagues around Malaysia. Yeah, we have some friends around, but not staying near each other. But now with these facilities, all of us can communicate and see each other. Yeah, and to share some views for the updates, lah. Okay, James. Why not I let you guide through the whole discussion today?
So, basically, we heard about this COVID, right? Okay. Yeah. So we heard about this COVID. Yeah. Some delays. Okay. So there's some overlap on the Facebook. All right. So we heard about this COVID things, like COVID pandemic causing a new norm to the market and the business model, as we call. So what are the new expectation and new living environment should we expect this? Because we can see the new thing, new era, and a lot of things from offline to convert into the online sector. So what are the challenges you can see from the period?
Okay, first of all, James, I ask you, you're from film industry those days. This
Yes, yes.
COVID-19 pandemic, what will affect film industry? I think you cannot go to site, right, to do some
Yes,
shooting at
yes.
this moment, isn't it? So I would I would see now. I think everything we need to fall under SOP, right? Everything we have SOP from film industry, from any type of industries. For example, like now we are talking about financial planning. Also, we need to observe some XOP, right? Those days when we start doing business, for example, for financial planning, we're doing some presentation, we can do it around the clock in Malaysia because it's a wonderful country. We can have 24 hours mamak store for you to call for a meeting to do your presentation or proposal. Even you can do it in 2-3 o'clock in the morning and you can close the case. But now I don't think you can do that. By 10 o'clock,
Exactly.
we got to be at home. All right. So I mean this C19 pandemic is really a new form, a new norm. All right, I should say it's a new norm, and it's a new expectation from everyone. Right, government has some expectation. We as a rakyat Malaysia has an expectation. What will be the new place for us to play? Right. So now things has changed, and it will be a new living environment for all of us. Now we are isolated. James is alone in a room, talk to someone. I also in the room alone to talk to all of you out there, which I cannot see you where you are now, right? Maybe you are somewhere else, right? In your car or in your other places that you are go online at this moment. And we need to prepare for a new mindset. I think mindset we got to change, right? Everywhere we need to go for well, we need to queue out before we enter to some premises, right? We need to disclose some of our particulars before we do something or do some business transaction. So this is the new pandemic that bring a new norm to us. And of course, we need to face challenges from now onwards because challenges is ahead. Because you and I are waiting for after CMCO, what will be the next, right? After
Yes.
they have lit off this CMCO, what will be the expectation for the next 6 months or for the next 1 year? So I believe now these are new challenges, and we got to take note of CMCO at the same time. Also, maybe if suddenly there's a place turned into red zone, that will be a total lockdown. Then what are you going to do? You cannot go anywhere else, right? You got to
Yes.
stay at your place at the moment. So CMCO and lockdown are different. So at this moment, Malaysia are CMCO, so we are quite glad that our fellow Malaysian is doing well and do a cooperation among each other. So we hope there will be not a total lockdown. Total lockdown is terrible.
It's stable,
Even
yeah.
if it getting worse. So I hope now everyone should be follow the SOP and advice from the government. I think we got to follow. Then of course, as a we also need to prepare for business and also as an employee, we also need to prepare ahead as an employer and as an employee, we need to face new challenges. The way of doing business, the way of doing sales and marketing, even you want to attend training, you want to attend your classes, education, and also you want to enjoy a leisure activity, all is changing now, right? We got to adapt it. So these are C19 that affect all of us at this moment. These are a few areas that we got to pay attention.
I
Yeah,
see. I
James.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, okay, we can see a new social interaction, which I mean, which is impact on businesses, okay, sales and then training, all that, okay, and so on. So, but what is the things, okay? So because a lot of audience might ask or like might wonder, so how's the global economy recover will play out? Because is it how long it will be?
When we talk about economy impact, I think if we compare with the previous in the 80s, in the 90s, or even in the 2018, 2017, we have financial crisis. But this financial crisis, it only affects certain area or certain industry or certain segment those days. But now this pandemic has affect the whole world, not just us alone, right? It's everyone in this world we have affected. You might have some cousin or relative or friends are still in overseas, right? At the moment, they might not be have able to work, and they want to come back. Also, need to face some quarantine period, 14 days, right? So it's affect everyone. So I think every country are doing their very best now to recover, right? To try to recover from this 3 to 6 month kind of effect, right? From China, it's beginning of the year others is end of March. So I think I should say 6 months have been passed for 2020. So the global economy has come to a standstill, and every country, every authorities have revised downward, right, their growth, right. So we got to accept the fact. So I think it will take this second half of this year for us to adapt ourselves, right? To adapt ourselves to the new SOP, to the new working environment. I believe things will be slowly recover beginning of next year. That's positive thinking, all right? And of course, everyone got to be positive and work together, or else we'll look into maybe half to 1 year kind of recovering period. So now it's for us to do some groundwork and really move forward. And yesterday we hear the announcement from a prime minister about the so-called Penjana, right? I think government has allocated 35 billion in a few sectors to help out, especially the tourism and also our mid-tier company and also some SME to work out, and GLC also lending their helping hand, right, to speed up the payment for their contractors, for the suppliers, this and that. So hopefully everyone will work together. It's not an easy period; it's a tough period. So I think we should look forward and to sacrifice certain things to gain something. So in this case, I think we need to look into the leverage of government incentives, so on and so forth. At the same time, I think some company is good to look into merger acquisition, right? A small company, why not let the big guys to lead you to move on, and then you get some shares on that merger acquisition or acquired by something, or strategic partnership. You and I, we partner up, right? I'm in logistic, you are on supplying, so we work together. So I think these are the few things that we look at it: government incentive, merger acquisition, and also I think strategic partnership. That's more important for us to secure our current position. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Okay. So yeah. So as we just do a small summary. All right. So just like you mentioned about from government policy to encourage to stimulate our economy. All right. And other than that, we also Mr. Ang also suggested, okay, we can foresee a lot of public merger, okay, new partnership to survive from this what we call this hardcore period.
Yeah.
Okay, so because we also expected around 1 to 2 years okay, for this recovery period, which is next year until another year. All right.
Yeah. So we must have some strategy, so-called. We must have techniques to secure some business, some strategic partnership, collaboration, so that we all can build up the economy together again. I think now is I cannot live without you and you cannot live without me. I think this is Malaysian scenario. So all of us got to work together, to see how we can expand our business by leveraging on people's so-called strength, and also we contribute in a bit of our skill so that we can make things better and sustainable at this moment for half a year to a year, and we see how things can be recovered back soon.
Yes. So okay. So as you mentioned, so we can see this recovery have to take around 1 to 2 years. So but so we have to look back to the period, okay, the COVID period, and CMCO and MCO back last time. So what are the impacts? Okay, the COVID, how COVID-19 impacts on our lifestyles, like from like our income, our social distance, as we mentioned, okay, income, our personal finance, and our education, and so on. So can you have some suggestion, or what do you see from this period?
Okay, immediately, I think you talk about lifestyle, is all of us cannot go mama. I think Malaysia is all mama culture.
Yeah.
We cannot eat roti canai now. We got to make ourselves. Okay, that's the first impact I can share. But of course, talk about the seriousness of impact on lifestyle. Definitely, the first thing is you and I, we have a job. Everyone have a job. Everyone work, right? That's our job. So our job definitely will have so-called impact, whereby maybe we can say is insecurity. If I work for someone, I'm not sure how my boss can sustain, right? Because I can see hardly people walk into my store, hardly people walk into my office. What can I do? And how my boss can pay my salary? So there might be an insecurity in yourself, right? Then we talk about bosses. If you are a boss, I think now you need to downsize. You have a maybe few thousand square feet of offices or showroom. I think now you got to think of that is a very high rental, right? I think
Yeah.
not many customers at the moment. I got to go to other alternatives. So maybe I need to downsize my business, right? At the same time, also maybe I have too many staff. Lay off, definitely that would be things will happen. Of course, we would not like to hope to see that. I also not to encourage if possible, all right, because human capital still an important asset to a company. So we hope all the entrepreneur and all the SMEs and all the bosses should take this step as a last resort. Okay, if can, maybe not. So at least people can strive through and help out to build up the business. Definitely there will be no overtime, right? Now no more overtime. At the same time, it's a lot of people based on overtime to earn extra money, all right? But now there's no overtime, I believe so. And definitely there'll be a salary adjustment, right? Salary adjustment means that good business, I pay you more. But now business has been reduced. I think I need to discuss with my staff, right?
Cut half into half.
Cut a little bit here and there, at least to maintain your job. So these are the ongoing things we can see now, right? Tug of war between boss and staff. I think about this thing, how to survive and how to sustain. All right. So of course, we talk about a lot of big corporations now. You can see online talk about giving VSS, right? Giving MSS, mature separation scheme. All these are happening now. So it's really serious. That's why I say job is important. So how to secure a job? I believe there must be an understanding. There must be a mutual so-called partnership between the boss and the staff, right? You want more salary? Sorry, I cannot pay you. You go off. Or else you take a little bit one step behind, take some pay cut, and I still maintain you, and we work together and build a business. I think this is the most important thing that we need to share with the fellow bosses and staff, right? Right. So if because you tekan too much on your boss cannot sustain, the whole thing closed. You got no job, right? But bosses also cannot take opportunity to say, okay, I give you a pay cut, this and that. I believe that must be understanding and based on the actual scenario of that company itself, right? So okay, then so then we talk about personal income. Yeah, sorry. Yes, James.
Sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay, no problem.
Please elaborate on because most of us might wonder or may have heard before what is VSS or MSS. Can you elaborate on that?
Okay, VSS is normally people will go for voluntary. It means that the bosses tell you, okay, now I would like to offer you 1 year services. I will pay you how many weeks of salary. This voluntary. You say, okay, boss, I would like to leave. Okay, because now I also have a kid at home. Nobody take care because of MCO or CMCO. So I would like to voluntarily go off. So you pay me compensation. So I leave. All right. Or mutual separation scheme also up to a certain extent. The boss and the employee come to a understanding that, okay, I pay you so much. Do you agree? And then that's thank you very much. And there's a golden handshake for you and you leave the company. Rather than retrenchment. Retrenchment is straight away, I give you 3 months or 6 months or depends on whatever, I ask you to go. So I should say VSS and MSS is more not so cruel. It's still subject to understanding kind of gentleman agreement. Yeah, so we hope that, of course, we don't encourage all this. We still encourage create employment, create opportunity, right? In this case, I also like to advise employee. You as a worker, I believe now you cannot choose your work. Boss, this is not my job. I don't want to work. No. I think at this moment, you got to be multitasking. All right. You got to help out your boss. You only do loading, but now you need to do what? Packaging, maybe. Before you load, you got to do packaging. So something like that. Or even after you do packaging and loading, now you need to do sales. Additional work you got to do. All right. It is to help out the company to move on, and you can still secure your job. I believe this is the most important thing that I think as a staff, as an employee, you got to understand the scenario and got to work harder. I think now everybody got to work harder, right?
All right. So this is a good idea for VSS and MSS, okay, to counter and avoid those conflict between employer and employee, right? So, which is a mutual agreement, as we say. So, So okay, so we proceed to next one. Our personal finance.
Okay.
Yes.
If you talk about currently businesses being affected, bosses being affected, your salary being affected, definitely your personal income will be affected, right? Your take home pay definitely will be affected. As a freelancer, or you work on your own, also now income will be maybe affected, right? Because you cannot approach people so easily. And even you can approach people easily, that person maybe also have some income constraint now. All right.
Yes.
So their commitment to you also maybe will cut less. So this is the general things that happen. All right. It will affect maybe income reduction or disruption, right? At this moment, maybe you also look into personal cash flow also have some problem because your budget, right? Your budget previously was based on your income, but now your income has been reduced. Maybe your budget for your monthly expenses will be affected as well. And your monthly commitment will be a challenge. Your monthly commitment is your installment, your house, your car, all right, your clubhouse, your maintenance fee, your insurance fee. All these, I believe, they might have some impact on you if your salary has been affected. And subsequently, your retirement plan, right? I'm supposed to retire maybe say 1 year, 2 years down the road, but because of these 6 months I have no income, I might need to prolong my retirement. So all these, I think from financial planning point of view, I believe is a good time for our financial planner to go back to our client to review again with them actually how this COVID-19 pandemic affect their financial planning. I think this is the best time to do some review, to do some discussion, right? To do some restructuring and alignment of their financial planning. So I believe this is on the personal income point of view, right? Lastly, we talk about social and personal lifestyle. If we are a person like to associate with friends, we like to go for drinks after work, I think now cannot, totally none. You only can spend your time at home with your family, right? Most of the time. And you need to provide social distancing. Traveling to see customer in other state is quite impossible at the moment. Unless you have a proper so-called authorization.
Okay.
Even you want to work across to Sabah, Sarawak to meet your client, I think now still not possible. All right. And of course, your marketing and business activity need to have a new transformation, right? You got to transform your company into a more vibrant activities or more so-called possible network to get more customer as compared with previous
online service.
Yes. Yeah.
So so what are the threat and opportunity? I mean, we see this crisis is a danger. In Chinese we call it 危机嘛. So what are the, because in Chinese term, okay, crisis we can split into two words, which is danger and opportunity. So what are the dangers we can see in this COVID and after this COVID era?
Okay. Of course, we are not making fortune over someone's misfortune. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is definitely if something negative, there will be something positive. Right, look at this problem, this C19 pandemic. At the moment, everybody suffer, but who is making business as usual even better? We talk about recently, people say Top Glove, right? Top Glove. All the glove company shares have been going up. Healthcare is doing well because you and I now, money is not important. Health is more important,
Health
isn't
is
it?
First priority, yeah.
Yeah, health is first priority now, right? Even if we want to go out, we also need to make sure we stay healthy and we have sanitizer, this and that. So those who produce sanitizer will make money, lah, right? So now you go out, watches, tie, makeup are necessity, but now what is necessity for you to wear before you go out? It's a mask, face mask, right? So now no need to make up, so you have face mask. So you have face mask. So those who make face masks, right, their business is still ongoing, right? Not affected, isn't it? Right. And of course, then we're talking about how about logistic company? Now you see all the Grab business, right? Those who doing Grab business are doing reasonable well, or not well, but they are not affected. They are not out of job. Yes. They still got job because you can see nowadays. Yeah, you can see nowadays all shops outside are lining up with all motorbikes, and you can see all the logistic or so-called courier services. Delivery services all are there, isn't it? All right. So how about digital businesses? Digital business is doing good, right? People will upgrade their mobile, upgrade their handphone, upgrade their gadget, isn't it? To make sure they can go lives on live kind of activity, so that everything can go on live. Now you can see even people selling fish, all those wet market, vegetable, everything go online. So it means what, right? These people are still making money. All right. So I'm talking about, we talk about threat. Of course, threat to employee and business owner is talking about if ongoing companies still have high expenses. Am I right? I still need to pay for my building. I still need to pay for my overheads. All right, and this thing. And to business owner, definitely their income will be affected. Then, of course, we talk about now we suffer some losses. All right, some contract we might not be able to meet during the CMCO. We cannot produce this and that. So what can we do? So we got to compensate, or if not compensate, where can I make my money? Because my material is all there. All right, my order has been cancelled. So what should I do? So when is my ROI? All right, so this you need to look into that. So there will be a big threat to traditional business, right? Traditional business means that those who open door and open their gate to do business direct with client, waiting for people to come
store or something.
Exactly, door so-called retail. We say traditional retail people might have some problem. All right. So those who can leverage on technology, leverage on other facilities to boost out their business, I think there is still an opportunity. All right. So a new business definitely will be emerging. As what we say, outsourcing company. Now, if I'm a accounting firm, I'm a HR firm, I think now a lot of small company, they will just say, okay, I will outsource all my services to you. Am I right? I just pay you an annual fee. All right, then just do my HR thing and do my accounting or do my auditing for me. All right, so they might not be, then the business owner might not necessarily to have a accounts department. All right, might not be necessary to have a HR department. All can be outsourced. So we look at it. Some suffer, some got their business. All right, so definitely we talk about CMCO or even we have this kind of pandemic. Now a lot of overheads has been reduced. Why? You and I no need to be travel out. We can just make a call or online, right? Data is available everywhere. So it cut down our petrol, it cut down our toll, it cut down our entertainment. Those days we need to entertain people, but now everybody understood without entertainment, as long as your services, I need it, I will just pay for it, isn't it? So that kind of casual entertainment no longer required. So we save some costs. All right. So company also save up some so-called marketing personnel to travel around and do sales and marketing. Everybody has turned into digital, turned into online. All right, turn into digitalization. So I believe all these additional hotel payment or those payment can be saved up. So I think then you work from home. You work from home, so then office can be downsized a little bit. So rental can be downsized, this and that. So there might be some saving from this side. All right. So someone will be suffer, but someone will take some opportunity from there. So I believe we need to strike a balance in between. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So as we can see a lot of businesses, some survive and some make it, like finance or something, like online services or delivery services are making good income at this period, right? So but some we call old school or traditional businesses barely survive. Okay, so therefore, so what are the things we learn from this crisis? We of course we learn from mistakes, right? So what are the things? What are the mistakes we should learn and apply on our future? Okay, to make to grow or to adapt into better as our business opportunity.
As I say, few crises we have seen before in the 80s, 90s, and 2000, mid 2000. We see a lot of crises. We think that this is not my business, right? These are other people's problem. All right, we still can survive. All right, and it only affects certain group of people. All right, nothing to do with me. Right. After all, the best thing is I only underemployed. I only an employee. Let my bosses, right, worry about all those things lah. Right. Every month I will got my salary. Am I right? So those were the days. Those were the days that I'm a small little person in the society. I feel that this is nothing to do with me. Right. Let the big boys to go and handle. But now, even you are a small potato in this society, you'll be affected. Right. So this pandemic, C19 pandemic, is effect from elder generation to the younger generation, right? From the big boy to the small boy, everybody has been affected. So in this case, what we have learned here is things change, all right? Risk, as you say, risk coming to many form of effect on us. Those days, people talk about financial crisis. So we set up a compliance unit, all right, to make sure everything in our office comply to the rules and regulation by government, comply to all the financial services rules and regulations. But no one talk about virus, pandemic. Nobody talk about, diseases, crisis. Trust me, after this, big company, big corporation will come out a department called maybe health department to make sure their staff or their client who visit their place stay in good health. So they might have a health department to look into SOP or how to transact business without these so-called effect by all these side problem, but which is a killing problem. That's a virus, right? How to go about it. I believe from now, a compliance unit will have an additional job to do. That is monitoring of viruses or your sickness. All right, so I should see. So in this case, we don't take things for granted. I think everybody take things for granted. This is not my problem. This is my government problem. This is my boss's problem. All right, no more. Bosses got problem. You also have problem now. Bosses cannot survive. You also got no job. So in this case, everybody got to work hand in hand. All right, then we must have adaptation plan. So everybody must adapt to changes. All right, we no longer say this is my way. I must have teh tarik every night, only you can sleep. Now, without teh tarik, can you sleep? You still sleep, isn't it? All right, so we got to adapt ourselves to the new changes. And also, we must always to have an alternative and contingency plan. We talk about alternative and contingency plan is now related to you and I, which is financial planning sector. Financial planning sector, always we talk about we must plan before any unforeseen circumstances happen. Am I right? Risk planning. So we have a risk planning from financial planning point of view. So we talk about alternative and contingency plan. Contingency plan here, James, we are referring to contingency fund, 3 months to 6 months. So how to allocate for that, right? We talk about alternative. Alternative means that we invest, we put our money, we spread out our risk into different segments, and we have alternative plan in our life. This cannot be done. What will be next? So this is more related to what we would like to focus on. Maybe from our second session, a few weeks down the road, we will discuss furthermore. But from financial planning point of view, now everyone will realize if you have a piece of insurance, that is the best risk management that you have now. All right, to cater for any unforeseen illnesses that will happen to you. All right, and you have alternative investment. I believe now you can leverage on the downfall of certain counter, which because of this environment, but they are fundamentally strong. So you might be able to get more cheaper investment stock at this moment. And we talk about contingency. Talk about contingency is talk about cash, how much cash we have, how we can budget for our expenses, how we can cater for our medium plan or long-term plan when things strike, if we don't have income, right? Contingency plan or contingency fund is when you're out of job, you still can survive for 3 to 6 months. That's what we always talk about, right, James, in our financial planning terms. All right, so these are a few things. Yeah, so these are a few things that we'd like to highlight the seriousness of COVID-19 pandemic. And at the same time, also, we need to look into financial planning, personal financial planning, how to survive, how to go about it. And also, of course, we need to look into as a business plan. Business owner also have a personal income. They also have business income. So from a boss's point of view, how are we going to deal with your business risk, and how are you going to secure and have some strategic plan for you to create a good relationship between employer, employee, and supplier, right? This is a whole network of your business.
Yes.
And your business will provide you personal income. Then how are you going to provide your personal income to be stabilized and secure your family as a whole? So this is maybe James, we would like to discuss in our next discussion.
We discuss on this
Right.
ecosystem of businesses and
Yeah.
this whole economy thing. So okay, so we conclude. I'll just do a small summary. Okay, so what we mentioned just now is what are the measurements? Okay, what are the threats? What are the danger we can foresee on the traditional businesses, right? And what are the adaptation? Okay, we should make is from offline into online services. Okay, like as you can see, very obvious. Okay, like everything I do online. Okay, like online restaurants, online sushi, or okay, food delivery services, or online finance, online property services are doing well. Okay, in this era, this CMCO period. But from another side, okay, from another side, we can see the traditional services, which is offline only or walk-in only. Okay, those are facing really struggling. Okay, they are facing obstacle, a big log in front of them. Okay, they can't get away, and they also cannot expand or survive at the same time. So, okay, so I just do a small conclusion. Okay, so what we should do? Okay, first thing first, we have to learn new skills. Okay, we have to adapt into this new online world. Okay, so since we can see online, everything's going online nowadays. Okay, like okay, if you want to shop, you shop online like Lazada or something. Okay, if you want to buy something, to order food, you get online. You have to buy groceries. Okay, you buy from online. So and then you want to get anything, you get online. You just contact them to take order. Everything is what we call it is the whole economy is working, pushing forward into the online services. Okay, property, they as property agent, okay, they also they don't have to go through a set up booth or something. Okay, they now what they do, they promote online, they do marketing online also. So what we can see, most businesses will have to adapt into this online world. We can see Durian also adapting to online marketing. Okay, we can see a lot of advertisement through online one. Okay, so another thing, okay, second thing is we have to work really hard. Okay, we don't have to be choosy over jobs or too choosy over salary. We have to put yourself into our employers' shoe. Okay, maybe your CEO or your HR team, okay, they are facing already struggling finance what you call obstacle. Okay, so we have to put ourselves, okay, in their shoe. Okay, as we are going in the same boat. Okay, either we can reach our destination or not. All right, so this is the second thing. Okay, we have to be positive also. Okay, even though this is a crisis. Okay, so we have to be instead be negative. Okay, we have to be positive. Why? Because in the same day, how you have to use the same day, you have to be happy. Okay, be positive, so that you can figure out what are the opportunities. All right, what are the things we can overcome. We have to focus on the solutions. Okay, in Malay terms, what? Di mana ada kemauan, di situ ada jalan. So these are the things. All right, we have to focus on it. Which is we have to think positive and figure out solution instead of being just complain and what you call just blaming each other. Okay, there's not how it works. Okay, it's not how it's going to improve yourself and your family or your businesses. Right. So another thing is you have to self-check your personal and your business finance. All right. This one is okay. We have to do, as you mentioned just now, we have to do a backup solution. a backup plan or alternative source of income, okay, source of your businesses, okay, your career network, okay, those are the things you have to focus on it, okay. So last thing, okay, so as Benjamin Franklin quotes, okay, he mentioned about if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail, which means you didn't plan anything, okay, you are going to fail when you face a very urgent or sudden situation because you didn't plan something, you didn't have any backup plan. All right, so that's all for our section. All right, so we will discuss on our next section. All right,
We'll set out again. We'll set out again the next session. To discuss how we can overcome more detail the problem that we have brought up just now, and also we also can highlight some of the opportunities that we also mentioned. So hopefully this thing can be collaborate all together and give some ideas for our fellow friends and colleagues to move on from here. But last, talk about just now you talk about skill. So everybody talk about reskill and upskill is very important, right? If we're talking about digital businesses, of course, it might be a threat to human resource. Why? We're using digital, we're using machine, we're using IT, right? Without using human capital, right? To do the actual job. So we must prepare. One of these days, a certain job might be replaced by digital or by machine. So we need to upskill and reskill to maintain ourselves always valuable on top of all these digitalization method that human still very important in way of getting customer feeling, a sense of feelings towards the customer, especially in financial planning. I believe always interpersonal communication is more important, that we can understand better the customer, what they really needs and how they really need our help. So I believe in financial sector, I think we still can do a very good job and wonderful job, especially under this C19 pandemic. I think we play a very important role to give our client and our friends so-called a peace of mind, how to go through this tough period. I think all fellows financial planners, well done and keep up the good job. Yeah.
All right. So thanks for your time.
Thank you, James. All right. I will see everyone
any
again.
Question for the bottom?
Yeah. Any questions?
Any question?
Do we need to answer any questions?
Please what's out your questions.
Do we need to answer any questions? Yeah.
Okay, those thanks, and they just mentioned, thank you for sharing, and win-win situation. Please WhatsApp if you have any question or to ask or something. We might discuss. So we are open for Q&A section now. Please do comment and we can check out and reply you. All right. So I just give a short summary. What we see just now, and another good thing from good news from this era. Everyone is more aware. We can see the whole healthcare awareness is built up really fast from this market. All right. So and then this because everyone is very concerned on their healthcare, right, and their life. They have to figure out how to survive. So this is a good thing, because we see from Japan back then, health health awareness is a very high priority thing. So we can see a good sign of Malaysia also doing the same thing. Everyone is for SOP, going to stores, or shopping malls, they follow SOP QR. it is a good sign, because back then we are really clumsy. We have to go to market, all right. So now we queue up. Okay, it's a good thing, because we can see Malaysians' self-discipline is building up now, all right. Okay, we can see from the question. Okay, how about the market now? So, Mr. You want to answer this?
The market scenario at this moment?
Yeah. How you just mentioned, how about the market now?
Okay, now government just introduced so-called a new stimulus package to boost up our so-called economy. We talk about from property disposal, this and that, buying a property, getting out loan, property sector. Then we talk about also on industrial sector. All right, so the Penjana hopefully can give out some so-called positive impact to people that still don't have a job to acquire a new skill. Hopefully, you know, as the bosses, they also get some unemployed people to come in. Government also provide some so-called incentive for subsidies. All this, I believe government is doing their best. But by depending on government itself, I think it's not enough. I think as a fellow Malaysian, I think we also need to work very hard, right? Taking leverage on this, taking opportunity on this incentive. At the same time, also we need to double up or even triple up our so-called our productivity. Talk about Malaysian market, I believe Malaysia still at a very so-called positive development. With despite of we're talking about the global scenario, I think Malaysia will still have a lot of resources, and we still have a lot of so-called high-skilled workers. I believe now we need to work hand in hand to bring back our economy in so-called in a proper track. At the same time, also I would like to advise our youngsters, our fellow Malaysians, don't too choosy on your job, right? Because too much we are too much depending on foreign workers. So I believe certain local job which need you to dirty up your hand by going down to the so-called to the field and work both hands dirty. I believe just go for it, right? Don't be choosy, and as long as the pay is equivalent to what you have contribute out of your effort, I believe you should go and try, and maybe from there you can pick out a new skill. Then from there, at the end, when economy turns good, I think that skill will be very good for you to turn yourself into a bosses, because you already have your so-called theoretical, you already have your practical knowledge. I believe when economy coming back to the proper so-called proper scenario back into 2-3 years down the road, I think you'll be there, right, to replace a lot of businesses have missed out at this moment, and a lot of business have closed down at this moment. By the time, I think you will be able to reopen up, or even to venture into the business that has been affected now, and then by the time you'll be doing well. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So yeah, you can see a lot of new policy, government are making those online packages are getting cheaper, right? And then it is a good sign, because they are encouraging public to go online, as we mentioned just now. And then another thing is we can see some subsidy on employers and employees, right? Yesterday, as he mentioned yesterday, and then these are the thing, and some public transportation, right? Government also trying the best to subsidize on these, like such as train or something. Yeah. Okay. So okay, no questions.
All right. Okay. So
wait, someone asked about, is it a good time to buy property now? Yeah. What are the advice if someone want to invest in property now?
Okay, a lot of people talking about a lot of people talking about borrowing cost now is cheap, right? As long as your pay is not affected, and your industry is not affected, and you know that your income is going to be stabilized. Of course, now cost of borrowing is cheap. Why not? You can pick up some property. I believe certain people at this moment are willing to let go of their property because of their commitment, which they cannot meet, maybe. All right, or some developer might have some promotion packages because to stimulate, right, their sales. Yes, why not? If make sure that your income, and make sure that your payment, or so-called make sure your job is not being affected by this COVID-19 pandemic, I believe you are able to invest into property that you require. I think that is the so-called message that I want to send. All right. So if you think that you are capable, why not? I think there will be a good buy at this moment, and the cost of borrowing is low. Yes, why not? Right.
Yeah. All right. So okay. So as we can see, no more questions from the portal. All right. So okay. So that's all for today.
Right. So we will catch up 2-3 weeks down the road, and then we'll come up another topics that to continue what we have discussed today. Right, James? We'll advertise again on that.
All right. All right.
Okay.
So stay tuned for another episode.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks.
So okay. Thanks
right.
thanks everyone, and thanks Mr. Ang.
Okay. Thank you, James. Okay.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Thank you.